If you listen to the show, you already know that we cannot exist without our sponsors. They are the ones who make things happen behind the scenes. So let's acknowledge Fuji Sports. We've been working with these guys for a while now, not only as far as this podcast is concerned, but also at the Roll Academy. We've had their gear. I personally use their gis. What a phenomenal product.
Yeah, I mean, jiu-jitsu, judo, MMA, tape, bags, anything you need for your jiu-jitsu journey, you can find at fujisports.com.
Let's talk Roll TV. There's so much content on there. It's ridiculous at this point. But I think what is even more intriguing, as time went on during the project, we've been recording most of the events that were taking place here at Roll Academy. At this point, I mean, we have guys like Chris Howder, Armin Fati, Rafael Lovato Sr., and Pete the Greek. I mean, there were so many different events that we've kind of recorded it. Don't you think that's amazing? I mean, points of reflection and kind of going back for all the students to see what really happened and refresh their memory.
Yeah, I think it's great, you know, being able to go back and look at all these high-level practitioners, Octavio Cudo, like one of the names you didn't mention. And I mean, just these guys that have been doing this for so long come in, teach these amazing seminars and workshops, and it's all recorded and there for you to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you want to get additional savings on all this, type in code ROLLRADIO at the coupon and get additional 30% off of your membership.
Nice. Go to rollacademy.tv. What's up, everyone, and welcome back. If you haven't already, please remember to hit the like, share, subscribe, download, listen, and whatever other button there is, and leave us a review wherever you do listen. That ensures that we can continue bringing you the great guests and amazing content that you've come to expect. Today's guest has made a name for himself by being one of the most followed and entertaining jiu-jitsu practitioners on social media. Miko Hytonen joins us to discuss why he creates the content the way he does, the importance of having solid foundation in your jiu-jitsu, how gradual improvement will keep you growing, and a ton more. Here's the infectious, positive, hilarious creator of Chokes and More and new BJJ black belt, Miko Hytonen.
Welcome to Raw Radio.
And we are live.
Here we go.
How are you?
I'm great.
Jesus, it's cold.
It's not that bad.
It's cold.
It's just because it's the first big temperature drop of the year.
It's
Although
cold.
You've been hiding in the back here in the studio. I was just up front, and the wind's probably whipping at about 40 miles an hour, and
Jeez.
it's snowing.
Wow.
So, and it's Halloween. We're recording on Halloween. The kids are going to be miserable today.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But another first for us, and arguably one of the biggest jiu-jitsu online personalities. I don't know, Miko, welcome to the show. But do you consider yourself as a big in the jiu-jitsu Instagram or video presence? I mean, do you consider yourself one of those people who leads that crowd?
Actually, I do, but I don't think about it like that. I just push out videos, and obviously I have grown to be pretty big. But yeah, I think I am one of those guys.
Well, so like I am, as you saying it, like I pulled it up, 250,000 people following you on daily basis. I mean, that's pretty cool, isn't it?
It is, and let me correct you, 270,000 at the moment. Instagram, it's growing like 300 to 2,000 a day.
Have you ever? Was this part of your plan originally? And
No.
we'll get to some of the historical stuff and how it all started. But like at this moment, as you're reflecting on it, I mean, 270,000 people.
Yeah.
That's a lot of freaking jiu-jitsu nerds following, one of the more entertaining videos online, because I got to say, you are a funny dude.
Thanks, man. But yeah, that was not my goal. So basically, my goal was just to, share my passion and share my jiu-jitsu and, inspire people. And obviously, it worked pretty nicely because we are here. But, that was not my goal. My goal was to share my passion for this art and share passion for jiu-jitsu and show people cool techniques and inspire them. And that led to us in this situation where we are now. And oh, man, I got my black belt in 3 months ago. And journey is only the beginning. It's going to be one crazy journey.
Well, and that's that, and we'll talk about the black belt because that's all interesting, and I think your story is very inspiring on its own, the life-changing impact and so on, and we'll dip in some of this. But I think there's a lot of people out there who want to do videos, and they do share. I mean, just a saturation, the amount of jiu-jitsu content that's available today, is ridiculous. It's overwhelming, right? So to stand out and really provide a quality product and a value to those who are watching or listening is the key, So like, what's your recipe here? I mean,
basically, when I started to do videos, okay, I started 2019, okay. And first of all, I remember the limit was 1 minute. The longest possible video format was 1 minute in Instagram, okay. So I started to do 1 minute techniques. Actually, first, let's say 200 or 300 was 1 minute videos. I'll make a joke. And I'm going to tell what we're going to do, and I'm going to explain all the details, like not all the details, but the key details, and then make some joke at the end, and that's it. So 1 minute videos. I mastered that art, like do it 1 minute videos first. And then suddenly the reels came in. Actually, it was like 1.5 years ago. And then because I made those 1 minute videos, I was already pretty big. I had like 30,000 followers or something. But then came reels, and I didn't follow the reels kind of first wave. I was like, no, I'm going to do my shit, and it's more valuable for the audience, like all the explanation. And it was much harder to do 1 minute videos. But then I saw like, okay, Miko, you need to, same like everything, we need to follow our time kind of way. So I did my research, a little bit the reels, and I was like, okay, so shit, these 10-second videos with trending music, they are pretty big. And I was like, okay, it feels cheating to make these kind of videos because I found it extremely easy to do like short videos, entertaining style with the music on. But then early last summer, I recorded, I think, 10 reels at one time, and I knew it already. Okay, if this is the biggest one, I can make it much more cooler. And then I recorded the 10 reels about, and on reel number 3 or 4 hit immediately 7.1 million views, and then it started. Wow, and I have been doing reels ever since. But yeah, I think that was the big thing there, from the 1 minute videos to reels, because when I started to do the reels and when my Power Kimura video hit super viral, and I remember when I woke up next day, I think it was Saturday when I posted it, Sunday morning when I wake up, 18,000 more followers, and I was like, oh, what?
And you became famous.
Kind of way, yeah. I think at least in our niche, those fucking jiu-jitsu nerds don't know, they know me, but normal people have no idea.
I do have to ask you, how in the world you select your ukis? Because I'll tell you, I would not want to be a partner. There's no way. Like, sometimes I watch them and I was like, oh shit, no, I just know what's coming, and I was like, oh no. How did he convince them to do this?
It depends. There's a lot of guys who want to be on my ukes, and actually it started again when we started. I started with Salvador and Spider David. So those were my 2 ukes. So were also my training partners. So they understand that, okay, we're gonna help you. We're gonna be your ukes, and those guys are actually the first ukes in my first instructional, like label jokes from everywhere, which is in I made the Fanatics. But otherwise, yeah, I choose them just randomly. Normally, and because I have a lot of people who come visit me here in Spain to train with me, and usually they want to be in my videos, and just random training partner. Or sometimes I just realize, oh shit, I don't have any videos, and training is ended. So somebody needs to come here. So there's always
now since you're a black belt, they don't have a choice. They just
there's always volunteers.
And the second thing, last night I was trying to scroll as deep as I possibly could, and I gave up because there was so much content you have out there. But I'm wondering at which point your double finger thing became kind of a thing.
I don't remember. And actually, I only noticed it one time. Of course, I noticed because I do it, but I didn't do it intentionally. Actually, one time I noticed it. I did a video where I was missing my double barrel, and some guy was sending me a message. I'm so disappointed, Miko. I was like, great technique. What's wrong? Oh, you missed it. Your signature move. So, but I don't remember because I think it was randomly, maybe one video at some point when I wanted to, and because I remember when I did the 1 minute videos, I was always ending the video with my catchphrase, like a jiu-jitsu never dies, baby. boom. And then I think then I was like, okay, so shit, I'm not talking anything, so maybe I'm gonna only do this. So I don't know.
Well, it works. Let me tell you, it works. Let me tell you. Yeah, no, actually, I had a student recently who was talking about video, and he was like, "Yeah, there's this guy, and he does it." And I was like, "Oh yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna talk to him this week. We're gonna talk to him this week."
It's great because even if people don't know your name, as soon as they describe
Yeah,
your video,
yeah,
it's like, oh yeah, I know exactly who you're
yeah.
talking
It is just happening. Yeah.
about. I gotta ask, do you, when you're in training, do you give your partner after they tap a little bit of extra love like you do in the video, or as soon as they tap in training, do you let go?
I let go. I let go.
Okay.
Actually, I was just, I've got the names, but actually just last week, I was training with one of my students, Weather. You know, he catch me some kind of a weird Americana variation. And because I let positions and you guys know, when you are a higher belt, you're going to give them opportunities and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And he cut me some kind of a weird Americana. And he started to twist and I tapped 2 times. He didn't let go. He's twisted. Then I became angry and I thought, what the fuck are you doing? Oh, I think the arm was not even straight. I said, stop here. I make the judgment when I'm tapping and you need to respect that. So it's actually really, really important that it's a show when we do the videos and we're always laughing and it's really fun to do those videos, but absolutely always in jiu-jitsu, immediately when we feel tap or even if I feel like something is not wrong, something is, you know, something is not right, you know, the guy is in bad position and he's going to hurt himself, I let go 100%.
Because the reality of this is, I mean, you know, it's a beautiful art, it's a beautiful sport, but at the same time, we are putting our lives in the hands of our training partners. I mean, as cliche as this sounds, I mean, daily we put hyperextension on joints and chokes and the trust has to exist, doesn't it?
100%. That's why I was a little bit angry last week during the training. Of course, I told the guy like everything is fine, but this is, you know, there's few things in jiu-jitsu. We need to be safe. We need to have good hygiene. Those are the main things. So if you feel tap, you are not going to make the judgment if the choke is there or if the arm lock is there. If you feel a tap, you're going to let go immediately. That's crucial point. And actually, it was good that it happened. Nobody got hurt. And I'm happy that it was me. And actually, I hurt a little bit my elbow, but that was a good lesson for everybody. And I took everybody in and I thought like, okay, I started yelling you because this is really, really important. We never can do that. So always when we feel tap, the guy who is tapping is going to make the judgment in that situation. So it's important.
Many instructors even consider situations like this that it's better to happen to them versus to another white belt. You know, the most unpredictable situation is 2 brand new individuals who don't know what they are doing, trying to replicate things they have no idea about. And that's where the tragedies happen and really could lead into unfortunate things, which often ends with both of them not training anymore. You know, so Are you going to do a reel right now? You're adjusting your camera? I'm just
no, shit, my setup was. I'm going to do video, fast video. Power people, I guess.
Stand by. Where's my Wookiee?
Sorry about that.
How long you've been on the mat? Let's reach a little bit back into the history. How long you've been on the mat?
I have been on the mat in jiu-jitsu wise since 2012. But I started doing wrestling when I was 4 years old. So my background is wrestling background. I did wrestling when I started 4 and I stopped like about when I was, let's say 14, 15. So about 10 years I started wrestling. Then life happened. I played football and did stupid stuff, all kinds of twists and turns. And then 2012, I started jiu-jitsu and never looked back. And I love it. Absolutely love it. And I still remember the first training when I did the jiu-jitsu training. I went there and the guys think this guy is fucking mental. I went to the mat and I was slapping the tatamis and I was like, fuck, it's good to be home. I knew it immediately. I knew it. All the, you know, the smells, everything from my childhood. It was so, you know, vivid memory. And I felt like this is my place. I'm going to be here. And it was really that from the first training, I know that somehow this is going to be my life, and pretty damn it is.
Yeah. What is so gravitating about jiu-jitsu? And the reason why I asked is because, I mean, we've had, you know, nearly 200 guests on this show, and almost every time this topic comes up, the first time you step on the mat, the first interaction with jiu-jitsu, the story is almost the same. Like, I kind of stumble upon it. It kind of fell by accident. I kind of end up on the mat, and then I cannot get rid of it. I am sucked in. It is so addictive. We can't get rid of it. And my story is not much different, similar to yours. But like, what do you think is so? What brings us in to jiu-jitsu so much?
I think it's still like jiu-jitsu is the way for personal growth in some way. So for me, it was, for example, because I was really lost before jiu-jitsu. I did a lot of criminal stuff, and I was really lost. I was in the gang life. I did all kinds of stupid stuff. But I was thinking about, I need to found myself. I need to have some kind of passion, which is going to kind of define me or like that. And I was thinking, okay, I'm going to go back to wrestling, and I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to make myself big. But then I tried jiu-jitsu, and jiu-jitsu can make all of those things, make you healthy, make you also create and one thing also which is extremely good in jiu-jitsu, because it creates like a natural confidence in a good way. Natural confidence, what you're capable. If you go gym, if I go gym to 12 years, I'm going to be in great shape. But I'm like a, Lamborghini with a Fiat engine, even though they're the same company, but still like a, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think a lot of people find that in different ways, but that confidence level going up continuously, it is huge. It's life-changing almost, isn't it?
I think it is, because of course I remember I made this kind of a post, let's say 3 years ago. I posted a picture where I said like, jiu-jitsu gives you the ability to be the man who you really want to be. Like, I don't know where it came from, but I kind of understand it, because when you are not kind of scared of, normal physical altercation, what can happen in life, you can walk differently when you are not, scared. And also jiu-jitsu teaches you to be humble. You get your ass handed to you every day, and it's a humbling experience, and you're growing as a man, as a human being. I think in every day I became much better version of Miko, like because of jiu-jitsu. It made me, because it's so hard to achieve. It's so hard to do. That's why, and I think it's so special, because I think it's one of the hardest things that man can do. Train against sweaty guys who try to 100% rip your arms and legs away, and it's super hard, frustrating. I think that's also why it's so also addicting, because we few rare savages, we still do it, and we feel it, the benefits.
No, for sure.
So
Yeah, no, for sure. What was the one thing that jiu-jitsu changed in your life? If you look back at the pre-jiu-jitsu life and then today, what's the
I
one
think
thing that Miko? What's the two versions of Miko that we would see between those two times?
no, I think so. I have been always like this. I've been pretty nuts always, but I think the kind of a discipline level, changed through jiu-jitsu, because you cannot come black belt or even a good jiu-jitsu if you had determination. So I have always, started stuff, not taking things into the end. So jiu-jitsu, maybe the most biggest value is like, I understand what is the path in anything. If you want to be good or succeed, or you need to work hard, you need to have a determination and keep going on. And maybe the discipline was the biggest thing. I think so. Maybe the discipline.
Define discipline. What does that mean to you?
For me, it means like a discipline means to me like the things that, for example, normal day, it's so hard to go training again, blah blah blah. I have a discipline to do it still, even though it sucks. But never afterwards I think, oh shit, I went to training today. I would rather be home smoking weed and watching Winnie Pooh. So, but I don't know. So I think discipline is that we get our asses off the sofa and we go to the training, and we do. And also, of course, some people diet and all kind of stretching routines, all kind of what relates to that. So, and the more you do everything, if you eat healthy, you do stretching, you do jiu-jitsu, you get better more faster. If you do only one part, you're going to get injured a lot more.
There's many out there. There's many guys out there who will say, listen, today, peace. I don't have to go, this and that, I'm going to take a week off, week there, here, there. There's more casual approach to all of this. And I think a lot of people struggle with that discipline, quote unquote, that you talk about. No matter how I feel, I have a bad day, I don't feel like it, I'm aching, you know, I'm hungry, oh, I'm annoyed, whatever the case is, it's raining outside. I mean, the reasons are endless, you know. What? How can we turn this around? Like, how can we make this really truly work? Because ultimately, we all want to succeed, right?
100%, and you are on the spot, Thomas, because not everybody is like us, and I know casuals also, and it's really important for them to keep going on, but it would be much better if they had more discipline. And I don't know, for me, I like to fool myself also. So how I'm kind of let me use an example when I go to running, when I go to jogging, okay? So many times I fucking hate running, but I still do it. So I cheat myself. So Miko, today you can be lazy. Just run 1 block. That's it. No more, no less. I never do 1 block. When I get my ass off the building, okay, I'm going to do 2 blocks. I'm going to do 3 blocks. So maybe, and also I use this as sometimes during the training. So guys, if you don't have the discipline, cheat yourself to training. So for example, say yourself, okay, I'm so tired, but I'm still going to go. I'm going to take a little bit more easier. I'm going to tell professor, you know, I'm a little bit, you know, I have not so much energy. I'm going to take a little bit more easier. When you are there, when you're on the max, not everything is forgotten already. So yeah. Just cheat your way there, and you're going to be good. So
yeah, funny you say this, because it just came to my mind. I used to run marathons and be a big into running. And I remember when I was doing trainings for some of the longer races, I always told myself, okay, you're going to run for an hour, let's just say, okay? So, but I really don't feel like running. So technically, hour, if I make it to the half point and 50% of it, then life is going to be easier. So like, I was really telling myself, I'm only going to run 15 minutes. Once I reach the 15 minutes, now I'm a little bit closer to the half. Now once I reach a half, oh, now I'm already half. It's might as well finish now, right? So like, and it's literally, but it's really a mental game, isn't it? Because it's like,
it is, and I think, Thomas, we cracked the fucking code. So lucky you, listeners.
That's it. Just happened right here, right now. It just happened.
I think it is. I think it is. But we need to use all of those twists and turns, you know, because to be realistic, there is, of course, I have many times, I have a good motivation to go on the training because I know how I feel afterwards. But I think, yeah, this is this is a good way also to get your ass just on the move. And again, if you still feel, okay, I'm tired in the tummies or whatever, tell your professor, I'm a little bit, can I do only the techniques? I don't feel so, you know, whatever. But it's probably not going to happen.
Yeah, I think people don't, they look at what am I trying to say here? They're kind of looking at what's going to happen in the class instead of how they're going to feel after the class.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, oh, I'm sore, so I'm going to be even worse. I've been getting my ass handed to me, so I'm going to get beat up even more. Instead of like after that hour, you sit back a little bit and you're like, okay, I accomplished something and I'm glad I showed up. You know, I have that conversation with people all the time that, oh, I wasn't going to come today. And they're so happy that they did, you know. That.
And also, I think it's the same breath we can talk about, because also when people train, especially the lower belts, they start, for example, we do armbar drills. Let's say armbar drills, 10 each side, okay? Repetition number 3 there. Oh, fuck, I forget everything. I cannot. Stop. Let it flow. Even if you suck, no worries. Do it to 10, blah, blah, blah. Like, stop worrying in the middle of the training. That's enjoy and, you know, just try to go with the flow kind of way. And afterwards, you see how it is. But I think it's a little bit...
And in that sense, I often feel like as humans, we are trying to solve, and I use this phrase often at my academy, we're trying to solve the world's problems. We're trying to solve the big issue that is in front of us. You know, I can't do blah, blah, blah. Instead of breaking this down into smaller milestones, much smaller goals, much more achievable points, much more reachable engagements, and then one little step at a time, and then in no time you just achieve what you wanted to achieve. I think we overwhelm ourselves, especially with complexity of jiu-jitsu, isn't it?
I think you are on the spot, and I think that's an excellent way to put it, the small goals. And for example, when I do my famous joggings, so I started to do when I was injured and I started to run, let's say after 4 months, I decided, okay, first time I'm going to run at that point. And every run, I had only one goal. I'm going to run further than last time. I didn't go as far as I could. I could like maybe 20, 30 meters longer than last time. I was achieving something. I had a goal. Fuck yes, I run again further than last time. Then I went home, do stretching next time. I'm going to beat my record then again. Bam. And it felt amazingly. And it was really motivating to go on the running because I had that goal. Of course, eventually, the goal was like I couldn't run anymore, but the process there, I grew a lot during that process also. So I think you are on the spot with those small goals.
I just had a conversation with one of my students, and he used to train 5-6 times a week. Very devoted, and he's been on the mat for a long time. And life turned in a different direction where he stopped training for a little bit, and then obviously we kind of get set back on our our physical attributes, and we get a little bit out of shape and here and there. And then returning, he's back, and then he's like, "Oh man, I can't. I just can't do it." And I was like, "What's going on?" He's like, "I can't. I used to train 6 times a week, and now I can't. I can't even do 3." And I was like, "Whoa! Who's talking about 6 times a week? Just come twice. Just come twice and come to the low intensity classes. Just show up. That's it. Who talks about 6? Just come twice." And then maybe in a month or 2, add 1 more class. Then maybe start moving around. Then maybe. And then literally in 4, 5, 6 months, you will be back to where you were before versus alternative as you're going to just freaking plow your face into the mat and you're going to quit tomorrow because that's the alternative, isn't it?
That's it. And that happens actually quite a lot in jiu-jitsu, especially with the guys who already, guys who are injured, who already know jiu-jitsu, they come back there and go, okay, I missed so much, so now I need to train every day. I need to kind of take the time. And I try to also do the same like you. I said, no. You're going to do it twice and we're going to add more. Otherwise, you're going to get injured again and it's going to end bad. So, and because we can always add those trainings. And if you start 5, 6, it's not going to end well. You're not physically in the shape and you're going to push out too much and your mental game is not there. So start slowly. But I kind of foresee the situation happening all the time in the gym. Girls come back from the injuries and they're like, okay, because I'm not training too much now, I need to do as much as possible. I said, maybe also we do only few, but we really focus on what we're doing. We're going to start with good stretching and we're going to add, let's say, 1 training in 1 week. First week 2 times, or maybe first 2 weeks you can go 2 times, or maybe first month or 3 weeks. So let's add gradually those amounts. Let our body again to be ready for jiu-jitsu.
I have this phrase with my students: I would rather see you twice a week for the rest of your life than 6 times a week and you quitting next month.
Thomas, on the spot, brother.
All right. Well, let's talk about this big elephant in the room. You're popular. You're famous.
Sounds sexy.
How do you think jiu-jitsu has changed from the education perspective with this whole social media component? And this was one of the main reasons why I asked you to be on the show, because I mean, the impact that you are making on people is significant. Like we have people messaging us, oh, thank you for talking to so-and-so. I really can relate. This story is really inspiring and all of this. But you are approaching this from a very different perspective. One, you provide a value from jiu-jitsu perspective, jiu-jitsu itself. But dude, there's this factor of entertainment, which really adds additional layer of value for the one who are watching this, right? The community factor is really strong when we have fun, when we are smiling while we're getting choked or while we're choking, depending which one you are, And how do you think that has changed over the last decade?
When I started to watch videos, it was like about 2012, and there was no social media. There was some Facebook videos, longer videos. Actually, I still have some of those saved, but it was different. Totally different kind of landscape there. It was the YouTube videos, of course. I think Fanatics was already then. I remember I watched a lot of Stephen Kesting stuff from YouTube. And then I think through Instagram, these kind of a shorter videos started to become more popular. And I think it's changed a lot. And I'm not sure.
Do you think the education of videos the education of jiu-jitsu has changed because of this? Do you think we are better at jiu-jitsu because of the access that we have on our phones?
I don't know. It's same as we should be, as a humankind, we should be the smarter than we ever been because we have all the information in our hands. But if you ask somebody, some teenager now, what is the capital of Australia, they have no idea, or some kind of normal question. So I don't know. Maybe there is too much, and we cannot kind of dissolve the good stuff from there. Yeah, there's no focus because there is too much. If there would be only like 50 videos, everybody watched those 50 videos and absorb all the information. Now people are, and probably I'm the same. I have saved, let's say, 500 technique videos. I never open those. It's always on the save, and I even have folders, takedowns, arm bars, sweeps, transitions, everything. I saved a bunch of stuff, but I never open them. So it's just it's somewhere there. But I think still information is good. You just need to kind of what information you're absorbing, or are you just scrolling jiu-jitsu videos for fun, or do you want to learn something, or I don't know, or can we combine those? Maybe.
What are you doing? Are you just scrolling and whatever comes up you watch, or are you seeking whatever technique and looking at 10 videos of that from 10 different people?
I usually scroll down, and especially social media. If I want to search some video, I go to Gradual's Guide, or I go to YouTube, and I have bought like a lot of instructions from Fanatics also. So, and I have my old jiu-jitsu magazines, and Gracie magazines. So social media is not my place if I want to start to search or research some move. For me, it's entertaining, but I'm not learning new stuff. I might see like, okay, I want to, try this technique. That's possible. But if I start to study something, let's say Kimura trap from the back, I go Grappler's Guide, I go YouTube, and then I'm going to start put the puzzles in, but I'm not going to go to Instagram and try to look at.
But let me run this by you. Look, 20 years ago when I was starting, there was no YouTube. There was no Instagram. Like I don't even remember, but like I don't remember any videos whatsoever. Freaking finding a DVD or VHS was like freaking gold. You were like, there's a party at my house, man. Come on by, So we went from this one extreme of no data access to the opposite extreme today of oversaturation of data. And the question is, have we improved during this entire time? Right? Like 20 years ago, and you said you started in 2012.
Yeah.
Even back then, access to information probably was limited. So as a white and blue belt, probably seeking that information was not so easy. Now today, like I don't care who you are or what you're looking for, you can pull it up on your phone in a matter of seconds, and you can learn that information from anybody in the world. Like, you want to learn from Gordon, you learn from Gordon. You want to learn from Marcelo Garcia, you learn from Marcelo Garcia.
I love it. But I don't know. When you put it like that, I think we have got better in that way, because now we can see all kinds of different styles, and we can find out. We can build our game. I can learn this labor stuff from Keenan, and then I want to learn the back attacks from Gordon. I want to have Marcelo's, X-Pass and all kind of, so you can kind of put the pieces together and you can learn from the best in their specific area. And that's actually what I do. So I try to always learn guys who are really good, specifically what they do, the small part, they do one move perfectly. And I try to learn that from them, not the whole game, just the tastiest part of their game. But I don't know, that's a good question. I think we have still, get better, even though there's so much information. But again, it's overwhelming. I think it's overwhelming. So I don't know how people can control.
What do you tell your students?
About what?
About learning. What? I mean, how do you stay focused? So like in a moment ago, you talked about being disciplined. You talked about being focused. Really narrow down what you do and how you do it. Setting good goals, more small improvements. But now we are talking about this ocean of information, and the distraction is at the highest, right?
Yeah. So for example, the way how I teach and the way how I talk to my students, because we have this situation where we talk about, because I always teach BJJ blueprint. So I teach, it's not a system. I think many people teach the same way, but I normally I take 6 main positions, let's say white and blue belt, 6 main positions, top and bottom position from every position. Like for example, close guard, 2 moves from top, 2 moves from bottom, half guard, 2 moves from top, 2 moves from bottom. We have the mount position, 2 moves from top, 2 moves from bottom. So that's going to be the building block. So we need to have solid base game of jiu-jitsu, foundation of jiu-jitsu. So you have the main positions and you have at least 2 moves from top and bottom positions. And that's what we are learning, especially in the lower levels. We are building that foundation. And on top of that foundation, you can start to create your own unique style, but you need to have the foundation of, and those techniques, they are pretty basic. They are simple, they are not fancy, but they are that kind of game that many times works. So I'm teaching this kind of a system. And when we go higher belts, I teach also the blueprint system to the purple belts, but then we're going to go, open guard positions. We dive into de la rivas, we dive into all kinds of like open guard positions. We have all kinds of single leg X guard, all kind of stuff. But I teach this blueprint system that every position you need to have some tools on top and bottom, which is going to create your foundation.
So it's very refreshing to hear that, because today, with all the information very available, I feel like a lot of students want to learn all the crazy stuff without deeper understanding of really what the core and basics are. And even though there's nothing wrong with learning cool stuff, I think that's the harder way of doing it, right? I mean, the core is really what allows us to build things on top, right?
That's I always use the phrase like if you're building a house, you need to have a solid foundation, and then you can build a beautiful house on top of that. But if the foundation is not there, it's not solid. So we can still have funky nimble style, even though we have those basics. I have my basics also, what I'm using, and then I just add some cream on top of that. I do crazy stuff on top of that. But if I really need to fight with some really good guy, of course I sometimes do crazy stuff with everybody. But those same passes, I have my 2-3 favorite half guard passes, and that's, I think, really important that you have this kind of a base game. And also because then you have the base game and you can pass to art, okay, your kid or your neighbor wants to train and they're like, okay, how should I train? What should I start if I go there? No, we have a system. We have 6 main positions, and then we have takedown. On top of that, we need to learn something from every position. And we're gonna visualize it. I always print paper, and where I have my blueprint system, and then we're gonna fill it together with student, and we are always okay. Here we have a turtle top position. So what are we gonna start to learn? We're gonna start to learn how to take the back from the turtle position, and when they really learn it, I kind of yellow highlight marker I put top of it. So okay, now it's in our kind of memory bank, and we are slowly starting building that B2C blueprint. And when they come kind of good enough, then I pass the torch to them on, okay, now you're going to start to create your own blueprint. You are good enough. You have so many things in all of the positions. So now you're going to start to explore if you want to start to label stuff, whatever you want to start to do. And of course, not all of my trainings are sometimes I'll go also, we are having fun. Sometimes beginners class, I teach them how to do peanut chokes from the back or lapel chokes and stuff like that. But let's say 80% of the training, when we do beginners training, we follow this kind of rhythm of basic positions, and so they really learn the basic moves, which really still works. So
yeah,
why not?
No, I agree with that. And then 3 months ago, you're rewarded with a black belt.
Oh, yeah.
Now you're not only famous, but now you know everything, right? Because once you get the black belt, that's it. It's all. It's the end of all, right?
Yeah, well, I still, it was surprising because next day one purple belt made me tap, and I was like, what the fuck is this, man? I'm a black belt. So, I don't know. But yeah, of course, it didn't change anything. But of course, I always talk about this kind of, those moments when you get a new belt, it's only 5 times in jiu-jitsu where you're going to get a new belt. So kind of crystallizing, a lot of hard work crystallizes in those moments. So kind of you're not going to enjoy it. It doesn't, kind of matter at all. But in that moment, I was like, okay, I was recapping, okay, what the huge amount of work and everything brought me here now. But now, the journey starts again kind of way. And I started to cycle again. I started to go back to the basics, and I started to deep dive and make notes about scissor sweep and everything. Like, is there a way how I can make this even more better? And I was studying scissor sweep with the white belts, one of our basic classes. I was teaching the scissor sweep, and I was making notes here. Scissor sweep, and these guys were, what the fuck? But again, I love the cycle. I'm still learning the scissor sweep, but is there a way how I can make it better? I don't know. And now I see it a little bit different eyes, because I have 11 years under my belt. So.
Here's the interesting thought. So recently I had a conversation with another black belt friend of mine, and he goes, things change the moment we get the black belt. They change. Somehow they change. Okay? Something changes, right? Here's the thing. He said, most of the time when people receive the black belt, they start going back to the beginning. They say, well, how do I refine it? How do I make it easier? How do I understand this deeper? But here's the caveat. If they remain as a brown belt, would they have the same thought? So if you remain brown belt for another 5 years, would you have the same thought, or would you continue with your brown belt behaviors? Or there was something, so like the whole conversation between him and I was like, is it the moment of getting the black belt? Is it really the color that changes everything? Or is it a more of we get smarter and there was this maturity that takes place regardless of the belt? What do you think about this?
Excellent question. And when you say like this, I would probably not did anything before I get my black belt. So, and because of course we are not chasing belts, but I was thinking about, okay, I don't know. Really good question, but I think when the color changed, then you again, and because when you get your brown belt from purple to brown, it's okay. So what I need to do differently, and actually not so much just train, just come every day and give everything what you got. But I don't know. That's a good point, but. I think if I would be brown belt 66 more years, I wouldn't go like this. I would probably just train like a brown belt.
Do you see what I'm saying? I mean, there is some truth behind this, right?
Yeah.
So
100%.
interesting.
It is.
So first, did you know that the black belt was coming?
Fuck no. Santeri promised me that. Actually, I have a fucking funny story about it. I'm gonna share it to you. So we had this kind of a summer party day or something like that. So I didn't expect the belt, but I'm always, we always go to support our teammates. And then I got the belt, and it was a little bit surprisingly, but of course happy. And after that, we went to party with my professor and a few of my training partners. And it was funny because I will remember that day for the rest of my life. And because listen to this, what happened. We went this techno party. And it was kind of outdoor venue, techno party, and it was nice. We were drinking whiskey and having fun. And I had these Adidas shoes on, and I think they were fit pretty nicely. But the problem was they were too tight on the tip of my toes, And I had the shoelaces on, and I was there dancing and, partying all night long. And when I go home, I was like, oh, fuck, my big toes nails are hurting like hell. And then I went to sleep, and next morning, my toenails are super black. I was like, what the fuck, Miko? Everybody was, what's happening? I have no idea. Maybe the shoes were too tight. But then, my toenails get super black and the toenails drop off and now they've already grown. But the day when I got my black belt, I fucking I lose my toenails. So I don't know, in the techno party.
That's not what happens to everybody. Everybody's toenails don't fall off.
I don't know. This needs to Thomas. Tell me.
Thomas, isn't that what happened to you?
Mine was so long ago, I remember.
So let's leave it a possibility. Okay.
That's a possibility.
I mean, if I ever get mine, I know the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the blanket back in the morning.
Yeah. But send me
you got your black belt and your black toes.
Yeah, exactly. Double. And it was double. It was both. I can imagine people were looking at me when I went to training, first days as a black belt and the first actually weeks, I put my brand new black belt on and my toenails was black also. And the guys, nobody told me anything. And one day I was asking about Andrea, one of our black belts, like, do you see my toes? And he was like, what about those? And you see the color? Oh, I thought you were tattooing them also. I'm like, what the fuck, man?
That's funny. That's a great story. That's a memorable moment. But listen, that acknowledgement as a black belt, I think is important for many of us. I mean, like all jokes aside, it is a huge accomplishment. No matter how much you work, I mean, no matter how dedicated you are, whether you are or you are not a world champion, whether you compete or you teach, whatever your role and function is, achieving that level and being recognized by your professor, I mean, that has to feel good. That has to be a sense of, yes, I got this. Even though it might be a surprise for many of us or was.
100%. And of course, I understand. And again, you can be same amount. You can be maybe even faster. You can be a brain surgeon, and like it's so complex. It's so hard to achieve. So of course, I felt like, fuck, yes, I'm here now. But I never think like, okay, I know, more than yesterday or anything like that. But I was like, okay, I fucking made it. I made the, last belt of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, the prestigious black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. That's, and my coach, Santeri Lilius, one of the best grapplers in Europe, just won the ADCC trials again here in Europe. He gave me the belt and I was like, fuck. And I'm not a competitor, I'm a teacher. And he's a competitor. My professor is a competitor. And even though I'm a teacher, of course I felt like I was humble, but I was super proud also. I came to this point, and that's the discipline also. I was able to fucking dedicate 11 years of my life, this art, come here and enjoy every moment and, spread the art. So 100% there was this feeling, that, but again, it faded away fast when we started to roll, but, but
That purple belt got you.
yeah, next day, fuck. But I'm always, when I roll, I'm a fucking nutcase, man. I talk shit all the time. I give up positions. I do all kind of funky stuff because I'm not taking life so seriously. Sometimes when we go hard rounds with the higher belts, so be it. But otherwise, I'm really having fun at the Tekami. And I see the benefit to having fun while you train. I think it's important to enjoy what you are doing. This is complex enough to be like if you're losing on the match and you are not enjoying it. I don't enjoy it so much if I don't have fun.
Somebody told me a long time ago, jiu-jitsu is complex on its own. Don't make it more complicated.
Yeah, exactly.
Walk me through that day. You wake up that morning, life is good. You go on with your business like nothing happens. You get to the academy and you don't know, but you are about to get that black belt. Walk me through it. What is going through your mind? Like, get deep in there. I'm curious what was, like, how are you processing this information?
Because, of course, I knew already, like, that in some point, actually, it's going to be probably close, but I was 100% sure that it's not going to be in this graduation. It's going to be the next one. That was that was my thoughts. But when I was there, and, and Santeri, my professor, was talking about, he gave 2 other black belts also, and I think they came before me. And then he started to talk about there's many ways how you can achieve a black belt in jiu-jitsu. You can be a competitor, you can win a lot of stuff, or you can, pass the art, and you can. And then I started to listen. What? Now this, sounds familiar. And then he was okay. Jiu-jitsu never dies, and I was like, what the fuck? And I had a great speech, in my mind, but everything threw out the window because I was not emotional, but kind of overwhelmed. And I said, okay, and this has not been my goal, but one of my main goals still. When I started jiu-jitsu, when you dedicate yourself there, of course, it's not an end goal, but the belts need to end. You get the black belt, and, that needs to be some kind of not goal, but, at least middle goal. But yeah, for me, it was, I don't know, it was a relieving, but also I was like full of goosebumps, and because I knew immediately that fuck yes, today is gonna be the party. So it's gonna be a great. It's gonna be a great day. And actually, after the graduation, we rolled a little bit and take photos, and it was really emotional. And we came to my house with my professor and a few of my friends, and we started to listen to music, and it was, I was like, fuck man, I'm sitting here in Spain, I'm a fucking Brazilian jiu-jitsu black belt, and it already sounds, you're never gonna introduce you. And if we start to, I met this German guy at the techno party. He was some kind of taekwondo guy, huge guy. And he started to talk about taekwondo. He does taekwondo. I said, my name is Miko. I'm a Brazilian jiu-jitsu black belt. And I was like, first time when I said, fuck yeah, man.
That's too funny. That's too funny.
Oh. But now it's just
So way back in 2012, when you step on the mat for the jiu-jitsu mat for the very first time, after that period of time when you had that break, do you ever at that point of time think that jiu-jitsu will become your life, essentially? That you are going to put so much hyper focus around this? Matter of fact, one day you will be the black belt. Like, does that ever crosses your mind? Like now, since you are at this point.
Actually, when I was 3-stripe white belt, I knew it that this is going to be my life. I didn't know how. I was like, in some way. But I was first time. My initial thought was, I'm going to be a jiu-jitsu teacher. I'm going to start my own academy, and that's going to be it. But I knew in some way it's going to happen. But I knew already because I was kind of forced. Maybe I can say that I was kind of forced to compete when I was younger in wrestling, like a lot of years when I was really young. So I had no ambition to kind of compete so much. But I knew immediately that I'm going to go until the end. I'm going to share my passion some way. And because I have done a lot of stupid stuff and I have not been very visible in the internet before, and 2019. And when I saw people making the jiu-jitsu videos, and I was like, and people told me, Miko, you need to do this, because if you do your videos your style, people will love it, and that's your way to kind of show your passion to the world, But I knew immediately after a few months that this is going to be my life. I didn't know how, but I knew it immediately, and that was always ticking on my head. So when I had those lazy moments, I said, no. There is a certain amount of training that you need to do before you can get good enough, so you can get recognized, and then people start to, follow you and everything like that. So, but I knew it, but I didn't know it comes from fucking videos through internet. But hey, no worries, I'll take it and keep doing videos every day and enjoy the process.
Well, but in some sense, I think you are impacting a lot of people.
I am.
I think it's just what you said. There's many ways to become a black belt, and there's also many ways to impact people in a positive way. And we all, in some way, chipping in some way. Everybody does it differently. So it happens that Gary and I would just sit in front of the microphone to allow a bunch of smart people, tell their stories. Yeah, we just sit back and listen. We just press the button. But we all contribute. First of all, why do you have two pencils in your hand? You scare me, man.
Oh, sorry. Because
are these weapons?
Oh, because I like to use. No, I make a note. So something make. Yeah, I know. But if you're making some question that I'm gonna write it down, and I never do it. But maybe I need to have something in my hand. So maybe I skip on. Why you have all one?
But going back, we contribute in a certain way. So, your contribution, in my eyes, is irreplaceable. Is irreplaceable. There's many people out there who might have quit jiu-jitsu without your videos, and your might have just changed their mind. Unfortunately, you probably will never know that. But
that's the overwhelming thing sometimes, because I actually understand how much I have an impact. And for example, during the Corona, I did videos during the Corona all the time, but I never talk about Corona and complaining, oh, we are, no. I just, gave positive vibes and positive influence. And people send me messages, I would fucking kill myself, Miko, but your videos made me go through. I was like, what the fuck? And those days I understand, okay, I cannot stop. So I feel the impact, and a lot of people send me messages, and I appreciate every message. And everybody who sends me a message through Instagram or Facebook or whatever, I answer to every one of those guys. It takes a lot of time, but I answer to everybody, because it's people, okay, I have never done even martial arts. I get so much inspired about your videos and the positivity, and, I take that as with a humble heart. So that's my price. That's my price for this. If I can change somebody's life, I make one guy to go training instead of doing something stupid, it's fucking worth it. And, every day this happens. So, I cannot stop. I cannot stop now. I love helping people and inspiring people.
Where does that positivity come from for you? What's it born of?
Why are you so happy? Freaking what's wrong with you, man?
I don't know. I like fucking LSD, so I think. No. And also
changing your life.
Altering your life. So, but also because I have also my bad days, But I decide, when I walk through that door, nobody gives a shit. Like if I'm like, okay, I have a bad day, nobody cares. So I decide, even though I have a bad day, I have problems in my house, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I'm deciding when I open the door, when I close the door, I decide to be happy. And then it kind of resonates. And because when you're happy, when you're in a good mood, people resonate nicely. So I create this kind of snowball effect of good energy. And then I get the good energy back, and then I just, keep going on.
I just wrote down, and we take notes and we talk about stuff,
Yep.
and I just wrote down infectious, and it's like that. You look at it either way, and I think that's the positivity that comes across in your videos. It is infectious. It makes people want to act out in a positive way.
Yeah.
So I think that's where it all comes from.
Well, and it's almost like what you talked about earlier is like cheating yourself in a sense, right? Cheating the system, finding ways to manipulate the current situation. And I know there's a lot of people out there struggling with mental disorders or mental, conditions and depression and other things. And there's so much out there today that is very difficult, and sometimes a 10-second video by Miko could change everything. I mean, it could. I'm just saying.
It could, and because I understand that since the day one, I have always been like super positive and super, and I'm like this when I train at the academy also. You're never going to see me in academy in a bad mood. Of course, rare occasions, something really bad happened, then I'm lost my mind. But 99.
Like the white belt who didn't want to let go. I'm just saying.
I cannot sleep, so I don't know. Yeah, but most of the times I'm in a good mood. I because that's the place where I'm making myself and others better versions of themselves. So I truly enjoy that, and it's also great in jiu-jitsu. It gives kind of a holiday from your own head. So if you train 2 hours, you teach 2 hours, you're in the gym 2 hours, you are not gonna, mostly of the time, you are not gonna think about the bad stuff or what I'm gonna grill to the idol. Really focus on that, and it refreshes you. So
yeah. I often tell my students, jiu-jitsu is the only activity when people come in with a smile on their face, choke the shit out of each other, and they leave with a smile on the face.
yes,
You don't
and
see this
even
anywhere else.
and is there any other sport where we're gonna enjoy, for example, the black eye? If I got a black eye after the training, you know what I'm doing.
How many times you finish training and you're like, oh damn, or like the ear. Oh,
I can't wait till my wife, Margaret sees this.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I love the journey and I love the pain. But so, for example, if I have a black eye, and normally I go after training, I go to a local supermarket to buy some chicken or whatever. I have a routine. I have a pretty routine life. And when I go there, if I have a black eye, I take my shades off, and already I look like this. So everybody looks this. Oh, this guy, black eye. He looks like a fucking criminal. I'm like this. Yes, sir. Exactly. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm over polite, but I have a black eye. And I'm like, yes, exactly. It makes me feel alive, man.
I love it. Miko, before we start wrapping this up, what we do at the end of every episode, we have a question for you from a previous guest, but he had no clue who will be answering it. So he completely asked the question completely in dark. Gary's going to take a lead on this, but it always generates an interesting end to the conversation.
Yeah, so this is from Javier Vazquez.
Yes.
And he wants to know, what was the last breakthrough you had that affected your game? And he's thinking on a conceptual level.
Conceptual level. Maybe there's two different, but I'm going to still tell the lapel stuff, the lapel control, what we can have from the back. I think that changed a lot, because previously I have been attacking from the back with lapel a lot, but then I understand that the controlling mechanism. So for example, nowadays I do a lot of seatbelt control with lapel, and then I said, fuck, now I have other hand free. That, maybe that. I'm still working on it, but that opened a whole new world for me. So I'm still working on it, but I think that.
Isn't it almost mind-blowing when we discover those little things and they like another door just opens? It's almost like a video game. It's like do, and you're like, holy shit! I didn't.
And you
I
can
have
see the
never seen this before.
Doors. Yeah, exactly. And because jiu-jitsu always leads something. If I start to, train a lot with the lateral control from the back, seatbelt control, then. What happens after that? I have to control. Now I can start to attack. I can start to arm bars, twist. I can do a lot of stuff. So it's pressure chest. Like, but in jiu-jitsu, you always, this journey never ends. And that's the beauty of this art. And I've talked this many times with our friends. I love all martial arts, boxing, excellent, MMA, everything is nice. But it must be kind of not boring, but you have those limited, for example, boxing. There is not, 500,000 different moves. In jiu-jitsu, it's always evolving. You don't need to do the repetition. You can, explore, and you found out, oh, new grip after 11 years. Oh, I can do this. It's rewarding when you kind of learn these new stuff and new possibilities. So
I love it. Miko, before we wrap it up, in case somebody has been living under the rock and they don't know how to find you, where are you available? Please share.
Instagram is the main platform, social media. Name is Jokes and More there, and also YouTube channel Jokes and More. But I post mainly on the same videos, but I'm gonna start to put now more effort on the YouTube, so I'm gonna start to add more YouTube specific content, and also on Facebook. I think it's Miko BJJ/Tattoo Addict, but in every format, if you write Jokes and More, I think you will find me and send me a message, come to train with me, and just remember this journey never ends.
We will make sure to post all the links in the show notes as we always do. And if you're not following him, you have to. You have to. It will make your day better. Now listen, before we finish, I need you to do one of your double barrels just for us. I want to see it in person right here, right now.
And you see that. Boom. And you see that fall down, sir. Boom. And now we'll be talking about
Miko, it was phenomenal to talk to you. I mean, what a great personality. What a lot of love and passion into jiu-jitsu, with jiu-jitsu that you show and radiate from everything that you do, everything that you speak of. I truly appreciate this last hour of your time. And I know you are 7 hours ahead, so it's evening over there. So even more so, I appreciate you being here and sharing some of the thoughts, passion, and just philosophy about everything that you have done in your life.
My pleasure, guys. You want to have the question for the next guest?
Off air. Don't say it. Don't say it.
All right.
Listen, if you're ever in States, if you're ever in Chicago for whatever reason, you make sure you reach out because
100%. And I'm definitely going to do my US tour at some point in January. I'm gonna go to England. I'm gonna move to Cornwall for a while, so I'm gonna go from there. But I'm gonna definitely come there and have a grand US tour. I'm gonna meet people, and I'm not sure if it's gonna be a seminar tour or I'm just gonna visit cool people, fly there, film a bunch of videos, just hang out with people, drink beer, come there to eat fucking Chicago style pizza and stuff like that.
Sounds like a good time to me. So
I was already planning on being there, but as soon as you said beer, that sold it.
Oh man, Gary, you're gonna be with us. And let's go first training so we can choke you. So it's gonna be much fun.
Sure, absolutely.
Right, that's right. He's gonna be a Uki, that's for sure.
100%.
Double tap and a boom, man.
Miko, great having you here. Let's wrap this up for today. Again, I appreciate your time. I appreciate your passion, and keep on doing what you're doing. Without you, this world would not be the same. So keep up great work, Gary.
Thank you for having me, guys.
I can't say anything more. It is infectious. And people like you make a huge difference. What you radiate, what you put out there. So thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for listening to Raw Radio. If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to leave us a review and help us make the show even more amazing. For future episodes, check out our website and follow us on all major podcast platforms. Take care.